So, in the demonstration for versioning a business card, we find ourselves at our master catalog view. You might notice that I've switched browsers here. I'm using the application through Google Chrome, and it's important to note that these applications can be accessed using all of the most popular web browsers. Notice here that we've organized our master catalog view based on the item type. We can organize this view in any way that makes the most sense to the average user. So we might organize this view by category, by business unit, or anything else that might make sense to a user. We can navigate either using these thumbnail images and hyperlinks, or we can navigate using an explorer-like tree. So if we were a more experienced user, we might be drilling down directly to items that we're accustomed to working with. But using this thumbnail view here, we'll go ahead and version a business card. And then, as I mentioned during the intro, we'll be showing you how we can use user profiling information to pre-populate the versioned items on a business card. So we'll go right into our catalog of versioned items, and we'll click right through to a business card example. Now notice that we try to make the system as intuitive as possible, but we also will include pretty descriptive instructions, and we will look to limit the number of selections that a particular user has to make, thereby reducing the risk of error by a user. So in this particular case, we start by selecting our office location, and that selection will populate all of the variable or versioned areas that are common to that office, leaving the user to only have to enter the information unique to that user. So we'll go ahead and fill in a name, a title. In this case, there's a company or business unit that needs to be selected. And now we'll enter our phone numbers. Now notice that no matter how I enter the phone numbers, the system will force them into the corporate graphic standard. So here again, we're preserving corporate standards. We're not subject to a user deciding that he likes to use parentheses when the system calls for something other than parentheses. So we'll put this last one in here with no formatting at all. And again, you'll see that it sets it up into that corporate standard. Asking the user to please enter their email address without the domain name. We have that hard-coded in there. And now we'll go ahead and refresh our preview so that we can proof our work on this business card. The system has just created 3 separate and distinct files. It's created a file that we can see here on the screen. It's created a PDF file that we as the user have access to. We can view that file, or we can save it, email it to somebody to make sure that we've gotten it right. And it's also created a file that is print ready and gets dropped directly into our automated workflow. So here, if I notice anything that needs to be changed, if for instance I forgot to include my new promotion here, I just make the change on the versioning form, go ahead and refresh my preview, and the system will automatically throw out the previous version, leaving me only with the version that I require. And here you can see it reflects that little change that I just made. Here we have our phone numbers that have been forced into the corporate standard format. Again, we can save a copy. We can put this order into a shopping cart, save that shopping cart, come back later after we've gotten our approvals if a person is entering orders for others, and go ahead and complete the transaction. So there we have a pretty simple and straightforward way to get business cards ordered and keep them within the corporate graphic standards. So before we conclude this demonstration of the business card versioning, I'm just going to log out here, and I'll log in as another demo user showing you how we are able to use that user profile information. So I'll put in a new username here. I'll put in a new password and go ahead and log back into the site. We'll go into our catalog. We'll go into our versioned items, and we'll go into this business card fill-in example. And you'll see here when we land on the form that we have already populated all the information for versioning leaving the user to only refresh the preview, confirm that all the information is correct, and move forward with their order. In this case, we've left the fields unlocked so that the user could, in fact, make changes to them. But we can also optionally lock those fields. So if, for instance, we want to control the manner in which people are choosing titles, we may have that title embedded in the data file with the weekly roster feed that we get and not permit the user to make any changes to that title. So there we have an example of autofilling based on user profile, and that functionality can be applied to any versioned item within the catalog. So that concludes our demonstration of a versioned item. Again, the most popular and simple versioned item on the planet, a business card, and I hope you'll be interested in seeing the next module. I would recommend that you move on to the variable data module from here, but certainly you can check by description and select the program or the module that you're most interested in viewing. So thanks again for your interest, and we hope to hear back from you. If you have any questions, again, please contact the account executive who sent you the link to these video pages. Thanks, and have a great day.